Hey everybody, Rosematter here. Welcome to part 25 of my Chaos Child Let's Play. In the last episode, a bunch of info got dumped on us. So Aramora keeps seeing her brother around everywhere, is convinced that he's trying to kill her because he's angry that she left him to die. And of course, we think that she's just gone a little crazy. Maybe she's seeing a delusion because she is a gigalomaniac, and from the stress. That might be partially true. So it turns out that Kazuki is actually a psychic as well, and she seems to have the ability to maybe make things that people want a reality. And she asked if Aramora wanted to see her brother again. And then, even more shockingly, it turns out that the murderer, the person who's been killing all these people close to Aramora, is actually her mother. Did not see that coming. And now Aramora is Hinai is about to meet up with her mother. We can only assume bad things are happening. I think, given the usual length of these alternate endings, I feel like we could probably finish this off today. And we left it on a bit of a cliffhanger, with like rushing off to go see if we could save Hinai. So yeah, let's go ahead and see how this concludes. I'm really excited. Hopefully you guys are too. So let's get back into the story. I remembered my conversation with Shinjo-san as I ran.
有村の母親有村のお母さんが犯人だって言うんですか？
石田萌殺し以降の事件についてはほぼ間違いないと見ていい。それからその前の焼死体についてもおそらく。
Yeah, what's up with the burnt body? Sarika and the others had insisted I put the phone on speaker mode. I did that before I continued.
でも有村のお母さんがどうして？
有村家が家庭として破綻していたのは知っているか？
まあ、なんとなくは。
It was easy to imagine after what Aramora had told me.
有村ひなえの父親と母親はそれぞれ別の相手、いわゆる愛人がいて、事実上生活の基盤はほぼそっちにあったらしい。ところが20年近く続いていた有村めぐみと愛人との仲は先月の頭に突如破綻。どうやらその頃から彼女の様子は少しおかしくなっていたようだ。
I can't remember, was the burnt body, was that a man or a woman? Maybe that's the lover that she killed first, and then I still don't understand why she would go after Aramora's, like, not even barely a classmate. She said that she wasn't very close to her. She'd only spoken with the girl a couple of times. Maybe she killed the girl because she saw the pigtails and thought it was Aramora and attacked her, thinking it was her daughter? I don't know. It's so random.
次第に自らの家庭と夫に向けられるようになった。そもそも家庭が幸せであれば、夫がしっかりしてさえいれば、自分が外で浮気することもなかったと。
そんな。
Urusu raised her voice in anger at Aramora's mother's selfish actions.
やがてその考えはエスカレートし、最終的には娘である有村ひなえに向けられるようになったらしい。
どうして有村に？
有村ひなえこそが有村家がバラバラになる決定的な要因であり、また有村めぐみが愛人と別れることになった原因でもあったからだそうだ。
Aramora's real father was her mother's lover. Okay, let's get this back in. Okay. Real father was okay. So that's the case. Okay. Of course, her dad knew this. Her birth had caused a rift in the Aramora family. It had essentially ceased to be a family and all. That's what I was wondering. I wasn't sure if Aramora was... I don't know if... I wasn't sure if, like, Aramora was, like, her mother's child, or if the dad had, you know, with the affair woman had Aramora, and then they had just brought the baby into their family for some reason. So okay, that makes me... I wasn't sure who Aramora's like actual parents were. What was worse was the strange power that Aramora had. She seemed to have it under control now, but at first she hadn't known how to handle it. As a result, her mother had come to fear and loathe her. Yep, okay. That answers that question. So that was the first murder.
さらには自らの不幸の原因となった娘有村ひなえと夫有村光一郎の殺害を目論んだ。
Yeah, so it seems like, oh man, that sucks that that poor girl was, it was just mistaken identity, it seems like.
第二の被害者である石田萌
Yep, okay.
は有村ひなえと間違われ誤って殺されたと警察では見ている。そして彼女は現在警察の手を逃れ娘である有村ひなえの殺害を企てていると考えられる。
It was Aramura's mother, Aramura Megami, who'd killed her father. And now her mother was trying to kill her too. And then there were the phantoms of her dead brother haunting her. I did something I couldn't take back now. All I could do to atone now was to find Aramura as fast as possible. I had to stop her from meeting with her mother, no matter what. My lungs were already at their limit. My lack of exercise had caught up with me, and my legs weren't doing what I told them to. But I had to keep going, because I was sure that... I think what I heard was... Aramor was probably around here somewhere. I heard her. That was definitely Aramura's voice. Where? Where is she?
待ってるでしょう。あんたのせいだからよ。
こうだ。
Mama?
I looked for my mom where she said she'd be. I was so surprised when she suddenly texted me. I never thought she'd actually say she wanted to see me. At first I thought she had just been joking. I couldn't believe what she said either. I was so sad to lose your father that way. But maybe she really meant it. I hadn't talked to my mom in a long, long time. Mom had started avoiding me when she realized I had the power to tell when she was lying. So I didn't know what had happened to her and Dad since then, and I didn't care. I'd figured that after my brother's death, they hadn't tried to get back together. They both split off to do their own thing. But maybe she had changed. Maybe Dad's death had made her rethink things. So I decided to do what she hoped I would. It was the last wish I had left. So I'd come to meet my mom. And I had immediately regretted it.
来てくれて嬉しいわ。
She really meant it.
ずっと会いたかったのよ。
She meant that too, but that's the thing, it's like she can tell the truth, but she doesn't understand the underlying reason of why she wants to see her.
パパが亡くなって、ママにとって大切なのはあなただけ。
A lie.
これからはママと二人、ずっと一緒よ。
A lie.
さあ、もっとこっちに来て。その可愛い顔をよく見せて。
Lie, lie, lie. All lies.
ねえママ、
I spoke up.
どうしてそんな嘘つくの？
嘘じゃないわ。ママは本当にあなたのこと。
嘘よ。私にはわかる。わかるもん。ママが本当のこと言ってないって。
ひなちゃんこそ、どうしてそんなこと言うの？ママはこんなにあなたのこと愛しているのに。
Oh shit, it could be a lie.
それも嘘。
Mom looked surprised for a second, but then she looked down at her feet and didn't say anything. Maybe I'd said too much?
ママ、
Oh shit.
わかったわよ。だったら本当のことを言ってあげる。
ママ。
Was this her real voice?
あんたのせいよ。
This actually was her real voice.
だいたい最初から慎吾さえいなければパパと結婚しなくてもよかったのに。
Oh shit. Okay, so it's Shingo that she's got a... Maybe she's like, I'm glad he died or something, or I didn't care and that's why I didn't want to go rescue him. Mom's words.
だけどあんたは あの人との子。だから大切にしてあげたのに。それなのに。あんたみたいな子が生まれたせいで、私の人生はめちゃくちゃよ。
So it's, I guess the thing is like, okay, let's go back here. So she said, if it hadn't been for Shingo, I never would have had to marry your dad in the first place. So maybe she was having maybe the dad was like the affair. Maybe she was with the other guy before she got with, the dad, but then realized she had to marry him because she had, she was pregnant with his child, and I guess to save face, like, can't have a child out of wedlock. We're all true.
産まなきゃよかった。慎吾もあんたみたいな気持ちの悪い子もみんな生まれてこなきゃよかったのよ。
She really was telling the truth.
だから消えてちょうだい。ママの前から、私の前から消えて。
The words I wanted to hear. The words I didn't want to hear.
ほら、ね。慎吾もそう望んでるわ。
お兄ちゃん。
そうよ。お兄ちゃんがね、毎日ママのところに来て言うのよ。痛い。死にたくなかったって。
お兄ちゃん。
全部あんたたちのせいよ。したくもない結婚をしたのも、家庭がめちゃくちゃになったのも、私の幸せを奪ったのも、全部あんたたちのせい。あんたたちが生まれたから、あんたみたいな化け物が生まれたから。だからあの人も。
She was telling the truth. This was the truth I wanted to hear. But if this was the truth, then
私の気持ち分かってくれるでしょ。だったらね。
Mom took something out of her bag. The towel it was wrapped in fell off, and I could see a little bit of sunlight glinting off the exposed metal. Even though I recognized what it was, I couldn't move. The truths I had just heard had shocked me so much, I couldn't move. So she's probably got a gun. Then hopefully, Takeru will be able to use his, telekinesis and be able to fling that thing away and be able to stop the bomb.
あなたさえいなければ、私は幸せになれるの。
Mom smiled. It was the first time I'd seen her real smile.
ママ。
バイバイ。ひなちゃん。
She came closer. She looked so happy. There was nothing I could do but wait for her embrace. I mean, it could be a knife. Oh, shit. Because I was like, yeah, a gun would be tough to... A gun would be something tough to get in Japan if you're not, like, a cop, I would assume. And also, like, it's more stealthy to have a knife. That voice. Okay, so maybe... So somebody got stabbed. Maybe Takeru made the mom stab herself?
Mama!
That's Aramura's. I raced toward the voice, and under the dimly lit bridge, in an empty space with nothing but the sound of the trains, was Aramura.
あなたさえいなければ、私は幸せになれるの。
There was a woman standing in front of her. She was so tired that she looked very aged, but she was probably in her early 40s. The woman had taken something out of her bag.
ママ。
バイバイ。ひなちゃん。
When the woman started walking toward Aramura, I understood the situation. At this rate, Aramura would be killed. But from where I was standing, I wouldn't reach her in time. Telekinesis, dude! Use your power! This is the time to use it! She's right over there, yet all I can do is watch as she dies. Damn it, damn it, damn it! I screamed as loud as I could, but... The woman didn't hear my voice. She held the blade in front of her and began to run. And then I saw something in the corner of my eye. It was... Oh, I stabbed her with the... Oh, the D sword. There was a loud noise and the woman suddenly recoiled backward. Then she grabbed her ears and fell to her knees. Red drops fell from between her fingers. Did my power cause that? My power had caused her earrings to move, ripping them out of her ears. Okay, I was like, we don't want to become a murderer. We don't want to kill her, because then I gotta deal with that nonsense. But it only held her back for a moment. She glared at Aramar and charged with the blade once more. Maybe I will have to kill her. Maybe the cops will let me off as, I'm defending someone from being killed. I flung myself between them. Oh, did I get stabbed? Ooh, the sound of a train. The warning bells at as crossing bars lowered. Light and shadow intersecting. And a burning pain.
Senpai! Miyashiro senpai!
I heard footsteps somewhere deep in my head. Aramar's mother had probably come back to her senses after stabbing me and then ran off somewhere. But the pain was so strong I couldn't look to see. I must have passed out without realizing it, because the next thing I knew, Aramor was cradling my head in her lap.
Senpai, じっとしててください。今、救急車を。
ごめん、有村。
I softly rubbed her cheek. Her pretty, pale skin was stained dark red with my blood.
どうして謝るんですか？
あの時、信じてやれなくて。だから。先輩！もしも、許してくれるなら、もう、一度。有村。
Is she crying?
私こそごめんなさい。あんな風に飛び出していったりして。先輩は最後まで私のことを。それなのに。
Aramora.
だからお願い。先輩、死なないで。
Aramora's tears wet my cheeks. The tears fell in great numbers, rolling off my cheeks and hitting the ground.
有村。
But I'm already... No, he is not gonna die. No.
僕は。
And this is supposed to be the good ending? Hopefully he's just gonna be in the hospital, everything's gonna be fine. There he is. When I woke up from my sleep, I saw the face of the person I'd been dreaming of and panicked. Oh, wait, what?
あれ、私眠って。宮代先輩。
なんだ、起きたのか？
Please don't tell me that she's just having a dream that he's here when he's actually dead.
ごめんなさい。先輩を待ってる間にうとうとしちゃってました。
別にそれくらい気にしなくていいって。
Senpai was always so nice to me, so sometimes I wanted to let him spoil me.
何？
宮代先輩って優しいですよね。
何言ってんだよ急に。僕は別に。
優しいですよ。だってあの時私を助けに来てくれたんですもん。
それは有村が心配だったから。
ねえ先輩。
なんだよ。
痛みます？傷。
まあ時々は。
Okay, I want to believe
でもこれくらい大したことないし。
that we just glazed over what happened. He went to the hospital. He's fine. This isn't just a delusion or a dream she's having. Hopefully he's alive.
ごめんなさい。私のせいで。
So what happened to the mother? I would assume she was arrested.
だからあれは有村のせいじゃないって何度も言ってるだろ。
やっぱり私のせいです。私の心が弱かったから。だから。
有村。
でもね、私気づいたんです。世界は本当か嘘、どちらかで割り切れるものじゃないって。世界には嘘と本当が半分ずつあって、私たちはそれを承知で受け入れていかなきゃいけないんだって。そうじゃなきゃきっと誰も立ち行かなくなってしまうから。もっと早くにそう気づいてれば、私は。
My mom had been arrested shortly after that. Okay, all right, this is actually happening. An officer at the police box had seen her staggering down the street covered in blood and taken her in. She'd lost her mind to the point where they weren't even sure she could stand trial. But she'd have to go to some hospital, Shinjo-san had said. It was her own fault that this had happened to her. But part of it was my fault too. I would have had to carry the burden of that truth for the rest of my life.
でも有村は気づいたんだろ。世界は嘘と本当の半分半分でできてるって。
はい。
だったらもう大丈夫だろ。それさえ分かっていれば前に進んでいけるはずだ。
はい。
Senpai would always tell me the path that I needed to follow. So that's why I...
宮代先輩、一つお願いがあるんですけど。
お願い？なんだよ。
キスしてもらってもいいですか？嫌ですか？
嫌じゃないけど。お前今。
その言葉が本当ならいいですよね、キス。
だからそれは。
And we're in Hannah's just in the room watching this, huh?
いたの？チェ、だったらもう少しの間だけ見ないふりしててくれればよかったのにな。
だから壁を叩くなって壊れるだろ。
You jealous there, Anna? I was so close to.
もうタクったらこんなところにいた。今日は復興祭、みんなで行く予定でしょ？
なんだ、有村も一緒か。さては二人して乳くり合ってやがったな。
乳くりって伊藤くん、もうちょっと言い方に気をつけなさい。
Sheesh. It might be a while before I get that kiss at this rate.
先輩。
ん？
行きましょっか、復興祭。
ああ。うん。
その代わり二人で。
え？
I grabbed his hand and started to run.
だって約束でしょ。ほら行きましょう、先輩。
おいちょっと。
二人で抜け駆けずるい。こら、廊下は走っちゃダメよ。
そこかよ。
He was right. As long as I was with him, I could keep moving forward, even in a world of truth and lies. Because when he came to save me, I knew that his feelings were true. So...
ありがとう、先輩。
All right, that is the end, or at least I guess the true ending. Why does it look so fucked up though? It's like it feels like it was a good ending, but this does not. This looks so dark. November 21st, 2015, Saturday. Frisia Credit Bureau. Oh, okay.
全員 揃っているかな。
Shinjo-san looked around at the assembled group before he spoke. Oh, huh? That's okay. It's an interesting group of people. It was an early Saturday morning, but there were still quite a few people here. Momose Katsuko, the CEO of Frisia, Kunosato Mio, a student at Hekiho Academy and the famous Kei-san of Shibuya News, Ito Shinji, part of the Hekiho newspaper club. Oh, okay. Well, there's two people that are missing, and everyone's looking kind of sad. I was like, okay, yeah, that ending seemed a little too happy. Okay, Kurusu Nono, Kazuki Hana, and Onoe Serika. None of them looked happy to be here. They all had a vague idea of why they'd be brought here, but they still seemed to be afraid of what they were about to hear. Oh shit. Shinjo-san didn't feel much different. He slowly began to speak with the same expression of tension on his face as the rest of them. Oh no, did they die? What happened? Well, I'm trying to think too, this is what, November 15th, so this was like a while after the attack happened. Okay, what's going on here? Shinjo-san began to tell them what the police had learned about what had happened between me, Aramura, and her mother on November 4th. Okay, so it's speaking in first person from Takuru's point of view. After her mom had stabbed me, I was lying on the ground with my head in her lap. Even now, I still remembered how hot her tears had felt.
Arimura.
My consciousness gradually began to fade.
Arimura. 僕は
And then in the corner of my eye, I saw her. It was Arimura's mother. I thought she had left, but I was wrong. Uh-oh. All sanity was gone from her eyes. I saw a sharp flash as she raised her hand high above Arimura's head. With all the strength I had left, I pushed Arimura down and covered her with my body. Oh no. A burning pain ran down my back. So we didn't see any of this happen. Yeah, because like it was quite the jump between like when I was initially stabbed and all of a sudden like, oh, we're at school and the restoration festival is happening and everything's fine. I mean, I know that Kurusu, she was stabbed one time and she was out for a while. So yeah. So this seems to be like, this is what actually happened. And the thing before, I think, was more like Aramura, like that's what she was like hoping, like maybe in her delusion, like she wanted me to be fine. And we are together and everything's good, but no. Again and again and again. Pain. Screams. Man, I wouldn't say this woman sucks at killing because she's killed a couple of people, but she sucks at killing her daughter. Like, you failed multiple times, lady. I mean, maybe she did kill Aramura, I don't know. Mad laughter, a horn, the sound of a train, light and shadow. By that point, I didn't even know what was going on anymore. All I could discern was the sound of something hitting the ground. A sound of dragging feet, as well as... Aramura's sobs. I tried to speak, but I felt unbelievably weak. When I finally did, my voice was barely a whisper, but I still used all the strength I had left. I had to tell her. I had to tell Aramura.
喋らないと伝えられない。
そんなこと聞きたくない。
僕は多分君のことが好き。
Aw, god damn it.
本当に
And she's like, I know you're telling the truth.
はい、わかります。
Oh, literally. Yep, that's exactly.
先輩。
Oh shit, I died? I died.
ねえ先輩、やめてくださいよ、そんな嘘。やだ先輩。
宮代拓郎を刺した後、有村めぐみは血まみれでふらふらと歩いているところを警ら中の警官に確保された。ただ残念ながら彼女は現在でも心神喪失状態で話を聞ける状態ではないようだ。
それで二人は
有村ひなえがその後宮代拓と共に現場から姿を消していたことは知っているな。
Shinjo-san took their silence as a yes and continued.
どうしたものか。これまで警察がいくら探しても二人を見つけることはできなかった。それが昨日になってようやく発見に至った。二人は例の封鎖されている AH 総合病院の地下室に潜り込んでいたらしい。
Wait, what? Wait, hold on. Wait. Assuming that, okay, I seemed like I was pretty much dead at that point. I knew about the basement, but did Hinai? Was she brought there at some point, maybe to be experimented on, and maybe subconsciously she remembered being there? Very strange, okay. The place had been locked up tight. There was no way anyone could find us there. I mean, maybe he was alive and he told her to bring him there to maybe try and save him because he could unlock the doors, like he would know how to get to the basement. In fact, we'd stayed down there for almost 3 weeks. I mean, he's talking from a first-person perspective, so maybe he is still alive.
二人は無事なんですよね。
それは。
Uh-oh.
二人についてだが。
Kunosato-san picked up where Shinjo-san hesitated. She had already heard, it seemed.
現在、有村ひなえは病院に保護されている。発見された当時、彼女の腕の中には宮代宝がいたそうだ。ただ、
Oh boy, yeah, I'm dead.
死後2週間以上経過した彼の体はすでにほとんど
Oh
が腐
boy.
敗し、一部は
Oh
白骨化。
my gosh.
ま
Oh.
た遺体の一部は欠損していたらしい。
Jesus. And Armor was just holding on to me for 2 weeks after I died? I could see them all gasp in horror. I mean, the fact that he made it a week after being stabbed so many times, assuming not getting any medical care. So they said it was 3 weeks, right? Wait, let me check the backlog. Was I mistaken on that? Yeah, stayed down there for almost 3 weeks, and it said it had been 2 weeks since the time of his death. They just found him yesterday. So if she had brought him to the hospital, would he have survived?
そして有村ひなえは腐敗した宮代拓の体を大事そうに抱きかかえ、ずっと話しかけていた。
That's right. I died right after that. It was to be expected given how many times I'd been stabbed. But they said it had been almost 3 weeks they'd been down there, but there was 2 weeks since his time of death. Anyway. Doesn't matter. This is fucked up. And the next thing I knew, I was in the hospital. My body was there unmoving. So Aramora somehow knows about the basement. She got down there by herself. Aramora was holding me. I didn't know how right? I didn't know how Aramora had gotten down there, but she'd probably gotten help from her. Wait, her. Are they talking about the little girl? Oh, what is her name? I'm blanking. Oh, what is her name? The little girl who was like helping people down at the basement, like in the hospital? Or maybe, oh, maybe Hana? Does Kazuki know about their I don't know. Kazuki seems just as surprised as everybody else. Oh no. Oh, I didn't need to see that. Oh, that's very uncomfortable to look at. I don't like that. Aramura was talking to me with a happy look on her face.
先輩、お願いがあるんですけど。
She seemed to think she was at school. She kept saying the same thing over and over. Oh, yeah, so the thing, the whole thing with her being at school. So this is what she's imagining right now is what we saw at the end of the... Okay. I was sure she was hearing my voice as well. Not just me. Sariko was there, and Kurusu, as well as Ito and Kazuki, yeah. So when are they saying she got help from her? Maybe Kazuki is putting like this image into her brain, is giving her this delusion that they're living happily together and I'm alive, just like with oh shit, maybe that's it. It's like just like she wanted to see her brother. Did Aramura be like, I don't know, somehow get to Kazuki, be like, I want my happy life with everybody, even if it's not true. What she was seeing was...
ひなちゃんには見えてるんだよ。本当の世界が。
Oh, Sarika, what Hina-chan is seeing is the true world. That's Sarika for you. She knew exactly what I wanted to say. Wait, so wait, is she talking like to me? Like she's talking to... Huh? So she's talking to me even though I'm dead? But she's saying it's the true world. Yeah, that was the true world. It was the world of truth that Aramura wished for. Okay. The whole thing about like truth and lies, right? She wanted this... Okay. And she could hear them. Voices without lies. And now I knew that I was a part of her. Sarika softly touched Kurusu's hand.
そんな顔しちゃダメだよ。だってきっとタクも楽しかったから。
Oh.
ね、タク。そうだよね。
Okay, everyone then looked out the window in unison up at the sky. How strange, I'm right here. But what Sarika said was right. This was for the best. My voice couldn't reach her anymore. But Aramura now had the world she desired. She had attained a world of truth, and she was still whispering, inside of that empty room.
ありがとう、先輩。
Okay. Well. I don't know what to think about that. I mean, it is called Dark Sky. Guess I shouldn't have expected anything happy. Okay. All right. So I was like, surely I must have made a bad choice somewhere. I didn't get that. Surely that wasn't the actual ending, but it was. Because I think there is a bad ending that you can get. I think by choosing the negative delusions. So maybe if I have time, maybe I will do that ending and I will like add it to this episode because it is going to be quite a short one. I don't know what to think about that. Like, obviously it was dark with her, the whole thing with her brother, you know, dying and then like her seeing her brother. So we learned about Kazuki's, her abilities, that she's a psychic as well. And it seems that her power is to have people's like wishes come to reality. But man, oh man, it seemed like we were on our way to maybe a good ending where it's like we could get Aramura to finally have someone she could believe in, to trust, to get over her closing herself off to people. No, I mean, we did in a way, but yeah, didn't expect that. So that was an interesting ending for sure. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I don't know what the next one is going to be after Dark Sky. I'll have to refer to the guide to see which one we're going to be doing next. Because when I look at these guides, well, they don't tell me which girl it's going to be, so it was a surprise for it to be Hinai. So we will see what the next playthrough is going to be, which girl it's going to focus on. We'll just have to wait until the next episode to see what that is going to be. But thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned next week for part 26. Until then, bye.
まさか先輩。
違う。
Actually, there was a whole special on it, wasn't there? It was the July 1999 issue, I think. That bratty little girl a year or two younger than you is actually just waiting for you to make a forceful move. Forceful move. That meant...
そうだよ。実は全て僕が仕組んだことだ。
え、全部って。
全部と言ったら全部だよ。あの女のことも何もかも。
え？じゃあ、私たちが襲われたことも先輩が？でも、どうして？
決まってるだろ。君をここに連れ込むためだ。
I grabbed her by the wrist and pinned her to the bed. Aramura looked at me in surprise.
Eh?
And laughed? Why was she laughing?
有村何がおかしいんだよ。
だって、笑わずにいられないんですもの。僕が仕組んだ。私をここに連れてきた？ああ、おかしい。
Aramura stood up and put her fingers up to her jaw, and then, with a strange crackling sound, she started to rip off her own face. Her sudden insanity was enough to make me scream. She ripped off her own skin, and I could see the muscle and bone beneath. No, wait. Instead, I saw...
お前は
見つけた。
that woman from before.
逃げるなんてひどいじゃない。
Her eyes glistened with madness as she got closer to me.
嘘だろ。どうして。
決まってるじゃない。あなたを消し済みにするためよ。
She slowly raised her hand, and then the first burst of flame came forth. It was so hot. I felt like I was going to vomit from the stench of burning hair and skin. I opened my mouth to breathe and a wave of fire ran down my throat.
ほら、もっと身もだえろ。もっと苦しみがいい。これが私の苦しみ、私の喜び。頼むからもう許してくれ。
何がですか？
え？
だから、何を許してほしいんですか？
Aramura was looking at me in confusion.
いや、別に何でも。
まあいいですけど、そこどいてもらえます？さもないと。
ああ、ごめん。
ち。
I suddenly realized Sarika was staring at me.
なんだよ。
タク、また何か良くないことを考えてるでしょ
Shit.
何言ってんだよ。僕は別にそんなこと。
う。嘘です。バッチリ考えてましたね。
Shit. That's right. Aramura's here.
どうせまたエッチなこと考えてたんでしょ。
そういうんじゃ。
それも嘘んこ。ということは、つまりエッチなことを考えていたということですね。
I was getting nowhere. I just kept on digging myself into a deeper hole. But if I answered by shaking my head, I'd be basically admitting it. Aramura Hinai's power made her a formidable foe.
さてと、どうするひなちゃん。
どうするって。
やっぱエッチな人にはお仕置きが必要じゃないかと。
お仕置き？
Depending on what they had in mind, that could actually be a good thing.
どういうのがいいかな。できればもう二度とそういうこと考えないようなのがいいと思うんだけど。そうさな。じゃあ視力を奪うなんてのはどう？
は？
ああ、それいいかも。何も見えなくなればもうエッチなこととか考えられないもんね。
ちょっと待て。いくらなんでもちょっと考えたくらいでそんな物騒なこと。
ほらタク、大丈夫。痛くしないから。
いや、そういう問題じゃ。
先輩。
Oh yeah, maybe I could use my power to distract them somehow. If I could knock and move something or destroy it, then they'd turn their attention toward that. And then I could run away.
よし。
I concentrated for a moment, and then when my D sword appeared, I focused on it. Now Aramura's face suddenly contorted in pain.
ひなちゃん？痛い。どうしたのひなちゃん。
Aramura screamed as she writhed in pain, clutching her right arm. It wasn't an act, it was a real scream. I could see red blood falling down from the end of her arm, forming a puddle on the floor. Aramura screamed even louder, and the next moment... it exploded. Aramura's right hand swelled up like a fruit with a firecracker in it and then exploded from the inside. Tiny fragments of flesh splattered across the windows, the wall, and my face too. Aramura fell to the floor, holding her hand.
何これ。もしかしてこれタクが？
違う。
うそ。
I could hear her moaning on the cold floor.
先輩か。タク。
あ？
No, I didn't mean to.
あ？
宮代先輩、チャオス。
おお。
What Ito had been saying was true. I could feel all the boys in the class glaring at me. It kind of made me feel superior.
あ、セリも来てたんだ。チャオス。チャオス。
At some point, Sarika had started copying Aramura's greeting.
ところで有村までどうしたんだよ、わざわざ。
やだな。私がここに来る理由なんて一つしかないじゃないですか。
One reason?
先輩を食べるためですよ。
Ugh, I hate that. That is ugh, I hate the squishy sound effect. Suddenly, Aramora's expression changed. No, it wasn't just her expression, her voice, her whole personality.
なんだどうしたんだよ有村。
何言ってるんですか、宮代先輩。もしかして気づいてなかったんですか？今この学校で生きているのは宮代先輩だけなんですよ。
What is she talking about? I'm the only living person in the school? It's impossible.
たく、お腹すいたよ。
タクルの柔らかい腹渡食べさせて。
I don't know why it's so funny coming from Kurusu, because she just sounds like an old lady.
お前それにクルスまでどうしたって。
It's only then that I realized that every person in the classroom was looking at me. They're zombies? No, they weren't people any longer. Their skin was the color of clay and hanging off their bodies. There was no life in their clouded eyes. Some of them didn't even have eyes. Something white was dripping out of their empty sockets. When they fell to the floor, they wriggled. They were maggots. Maggots had fallen out of their eye sockets and landed onto the floor. One took a step or two forward, and even that small impact was enough for his arm to snap off and fall to the floor. But the living dead didn't care. Slowly, one step at a time, they got closer to me. Some of them were dragging something rope-like behind them. I looked closer and saw it was their intestines. They were dragging their guts along the floor as they walked.
たく。
I was surrounded by an army of corpses. The stench was enough to make me vomit on the spot.
タクル。
I looked up and saw Aramura and Kurusu were staring down at me with lifeless eyes.
先輩。
I shoved my hands forward and felt something slippery on my palms. My hands had broken the skin on Aramura's arms, revealing the yellow fat and rotting flesh beneath. Aramura stared at her ripped arm and slowly laughed.
くすぐったいですよ、先輩。
She opened her mouth wide and went for my neck. Yeah, like that would ever happen.
そうだな。
This was perfect. I'd had my eyes on a couple of restaurants just in case this happened. Times like this, it was important to pick a place a girl would like. That was what a normie had to be able to do. Problem was there were too many good options to choose from. There was the time to consider, the location, the weather and temperature too. Cool Cat had insisted I take all these into account. I need to decide on some place appropriate for a date. A normie's capable of making decisions when he needs to.
ちょっと待ってもらってもいいか。確かこの辺りにもう一軒。
Yes, here it is.
申し訳ありません。ただいま店内混み合っておりまして、2時間ほどお待ちいただくことになるんですが。
ダメでした。
I'd gone around to 6 places and had no luck at any of them. I was exhausted from walking, and I could tell Aramura's patience was reaching its limit.
もういいよ。
え、
もういいっつってんだよ。
有村さん？
なんなんだよ。さっきからあちこち歩き回されて冗談じゃねえっつーの。慣れてないにも限度があんだろ。連れ回される身にもなれっての。
待って、次こそ。
次なんかねえよ。私もう帰るし、マジこれ以上付き合ってらんねえ。お前みたいなのは一生ろくにデートもできねえよ、この童貞野郎。
Damn. Aramura looked at me the same way you might look at a pile of garbage and left without looking back. The gazes of the other people on the street pierced into me as I was left behind.
ねえ、あの子童貞だって。こじらせちゃったってやつ、かわいそう。
おめえ相手してやれば。
無理無理無理無理、絶対無理。
The sad thing is, like, this isn't nearly as bad as, you know, getting eaten or getting burned to death, but this is the more realistic thing of what would happen in a situation like this. Damn it. The more I thought about it, the more upset I got. She didn't need to be like that just because all the restaurants were full. And how dare she call me a ver? Oh my god, is Casey gonna be like, important news, Takaru is a virgin. Shibuya news had begun. Felt like it had been a long time since I'd heard Kei's voice. I still couldn't believe that this calm, quiet voice belonged to Kunosato-san of all people.
本日放送の機会を設けさせていただいたのは、昨日渋谷で起きた悲惨な事件についてです。
Incident. Was there a new murder?
18日13時過ぎ頃、渋谷の繁華街にて、碧峰学園の3年生宮代拓が女子のエスコートに失敗するという事件が発生しました。
は？なんだよそれ。
原因は宮代拓が童貞だったことにあると思われ、
This is amazing. Oh my god. Why the hell is she talking about that? Is that really newsworthy? And did she really have to use the internet to tell the whole world?
なんだ?
Suddenly I realized there was a lot of noise coming from outside my room. Then there was a bright light. It was the light of a flashlight. Dozens of flashlights were illuminating my room. Wait, that wasn't quite it. There was a huge crowd outside the RV.
なあ、ここか？例の。おい、押すなよ。危ねえだろ。
そんなこと言ったって見えないんだもん。
What was that? A rock?
おい、いるんだろ。出てこいよ。ほら、出てこいっつってんだよ。
なんで僕はただデートで店のチョイスに失敗しただけだろ。
So why?
なんでなんだよ。
That is stupid. Something like that would never happen.
とりあえず何系がいい?
It started to feel awkward. But it wasn't a bad awkward. It wasn't that bad at all. It was kind of nice.
そうだ、怪我。怪我大したことないって言ってたけど、本当か？
はい、大丈夫ですよ。ほら、この通り。
Aramor lifted up her skirt to show me. I went to take a closer look, and the next moment, a vine reached out from under her skirt and wrapped around me.
なんだこれは。
引っかかったな、宮代拓。
お前は。
私は貴様に滅ぼされた葉桜人軍の生き残り、くのいちのおひな。こうして復讐の時を待っていたのだ。
葉桜人軍。
自らの術で記憶を封印し忘れているとはいい気なものだな。
忘れている？僕が？
Suddenly there was a splitting pain in my head, and I saw a strange vision. An old mountain village, rising smoke, falling men and women, and a laughing man, me. What the hell is this?
思い出したか？それが貴様の記憶よ。貴様一人の力によって我々の里は滅ぼされたのだ。この恨み晴らさでおくべきか。
Aramura's body suddenly went blurry before splitting into several copies.
朝倉忍法分け身の術。さあ、どれが本物の私かわかるかな？
Vines sprang forth from all directions and wrapped around my neck. And then... Bubbles appeared from underneath her skirt.
バカな、その術は。
この泡に触れたものは皆溶けてなくなる。
けれど、それは使った本人さえ亡き者にする捨て身の術。
貴様に復讐できれば、それで本も宮代拓さらばでござる。
うわ
No, no one says wreak my revenge or wreak my revenge anymore. What kind of old movie was that supposed to be? Nobody likes that stuff these days anyway. Special shoutouts to my top tier patrons: Revealing Storm, Lynn's VA, Kenji Storm, Icognito, Kevlar, Izuzu, Jesse Pelletier Lemire, and Lucas Gomes.